All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of The Creative Mind and Success. And today we have another lesson, of course. I hope you guys are ready to learn, and I'm ready to bring you guys a good video. So, as you can see, we got our mic right here. I don't want to touch it because that's probably gonna produce an unpleasant noise. But if you didn't know, my name is Ian, and I will be your host today. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over last video's lesson, and then we're going to read today's lesson, and then we're going to analyze it. So, yeah, let's get straight into it. So, last week we talked about man's place in creation. So, we said that everyone is made in God's image, out of life, out of consciousness. So, and we also said that we have the same powers as God has, just on a different degree. The text said that we have not what did it say? It said the same quality, different degree. Okay, yes, that's what it said. So we talked about that, and we said if God is powerful, then man is too. And that if God can control the universe, then man can control his life. So that was the different degree there. And the text also talked about how things are mental and then physical. So first this, then this was my drawing. So first comes the thoughts, then comes the reality. And then we said, with that in mind, we need to use the thoughts and the mind constructively. And the text talked about how people are individuals and we can make our own choices. So we can use our thoughts for good or we can use it for bad. But we ultimately control our own circumstances. So I said it's your choice and choose freedom. So today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be a short one, so get ready. The beginning of understanding. Man is beginning to realize that he has life within himself, as a great gift of God to him. If he really has life, if it is the same nature as the life of God, if he as an individual and has the same right of self-choice which constitutes individuality, then it follows that he can do with his life what he wants to do. He can make out of himself that which he wishes. Freedom is his, but this freedom is with law and never outside of it. Man must obey law. If he disobeys it, it has to act as law, and so acting has to punish him. This he cannot change, but must submit to. Freedom comes to the individual from understanding the laws of his own life and conforming to them, thereby subjecting them to his use to the end of health, happiness, and success. Law obtains throughout all nature, governing all things, both the seen and the unseen. Law is not physical or material, but mental and spiritual. Law is God's method of operation. We should think of God as a great spirit whose sole impulse is love, freely giving of himself to all things who ask and refusing none. God is our Father in every sense of the term, watching over, caring for, and loving all alike. While all is love, yet, in order that things may not be chaotic, all, all is governed by law. And as far as you and I are concerned, this law is always mental. Okay, so we have a lot there, and I wanted to go back to the beginning because I caught something that I didn't see before. I said this in another video, but for everyone that hasn't watched it, I said, if you have a book that you like, read it over and over again because you're going to learn something new every time. So, it was near the beginning. Okay, yeah. It's after the first highlighted section. It says, "He can make out of himself that which he wishes." So we learned in earlier lessons that God makes things out of himself, because we established earlier that all is life, and God thinks and creates the universe out of himself because God is all of life. So I kind of like, I think that's a connection there, a connection to kind of like making it towards humans. So he can make out of himself that which he wishes. So he's kind of saying that the same thing applies to people, because before he was saying God makes things out of himself, so now it's for people. So I thought that was interesting, and I highlighted everything that I liked. I need to find my pen. Here it is. I highlighted a lot here already, but there was one more thing I wanted to highlight. We should think of God as the great spirit whose sole impulse is love. Because love is powerful. We'll learn more about that later, but right now I want to get red and add a little bit to this picture. Oops, I made the highlighter red. We always want to highlight with yellow, but we want to draw with red. So we'll draw a heart, because my original picture, I guess now we're getting on to the analysis here, is that the universe, that was my drawing of the universe. I kind of liked it. I kind of like drawing it like that because I wanted to show how everything is connected. So I drew everything with connections, and then I said all of it is governed by law and God, and God's impulse is love. So remember that. Okay. So yeah, we understand this author is talking about this law throughout like this whole entire previous section that we just read. So I wanted to bring it up. And then at the very end, he says, "This law is always mental." It's italicized too, so I think it was important. So what I kind of did was I drew like a thought bubble, and I said, and what this kind of means is that God created this universe through his thought. We already established that before, but this kind of this this kind of picture kind of reminds you of it again, because and the the text reminds you too. It says this law is mental. He said in previous texts, if you didn't know, it says that God creates the universe with his mind. And now it's kind of saying that um, humans create things with their mind. Yeah, this law is always mental. So we could apply this to more than God and the universe. So let's actually do that now. Let's make this mental law about, look at that guy. He's a little bit deformed, but we could say our life. So the law is mental. The law governs the universe and it governs our life. So let's continue. So here we have the law rewards and punishes. So in the beginning of the text, it says that man must obey the law. If he disobeys with it, he has to act as law, and so acting has to punish him. So what that means is that he can use this thought, because at the end it says the law is always mental. So what that implies is that you can use your thought for good or for bad. It says the law rewards and punishes. So I said think about what that could imply, but I kind of answered it already. But what I mean is that you can use your thoughts to make you successful, to free yourself, or you can use your thoughts to bring you suffering or unpleasant conditions. So just think about it. And I kind of wanted to leave you off with that. Think about what all of this could imply about how the universe is made, about how our life is made, about how the law that he talks about is mental and that you can use it for good and bad. So think about your own life and how you think. And yeah, I'll leave you guys off there. I hope you guys are having a good day and you learned something. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.